Welcome back to Pigs TV, everyone. So today I wanted to talk about solar versus wind as a novice. You've just come into the game and you don't really know which is best. Like I said before, this is the vanilla ice cream edition, so it's taken to the point of view of like myself as a novice. Like I said in a previous one, I've not played any on the ladder yet because I wanted to get used to it, but I also wanted to put these videos out for other people that were wanted to get started and also learn a bit and like myself learn through. So hence the reason why I'm putting this together. All I've done is going to set up a quick map, so I just thought I'd show you it. So it doesn't do anything. It's just so we can, go through a little bit of how maybe the best way to set this up. I'm not saying this is the only way, and obviously you can swap between these sort of things. It will depend on potentially what map you're on or where you're actually situated. How many of these metal extractors you've got. Obviously, you can see here I've got 4 right close to me, so that might dictate slightly different. But let's just sort of compare. So what I'll do is I'll just put my where are we? Again, still don't using. I'm not using any sort of hotkeys or anything like that. Just the normal shift for building multiple once I've decided where I want to be. And then we'll just unlock and we're ready to go. So we'll get the commander just to build these two. I'm going to have a little look at what the preferences, or what my preferences is to build. So now we built the two. So the wind is a whole lot different to solar. Solar's, in a better word, is guaranteed. So what you're going to get is what you're going to get. So here it's giving me 20 energy I think it's every second. Whereas the wind is giving me 40 in the moment. So that is less than what the solar's giving me. Which you can see the wind up at the top here, where it says wind speed. So it can be an average, so it can go right up. Or the minimum is going to be, I think on here is probably 4, and the maximum is 14. But what you've also, I suppose, got to consider is the cost of the wind, but the metal is only like 37, and energy, it costs 175. So in theoretical terms, you could build, let's say, 3 for the same cost of, certainly in metal, actually more than that. It's probably twice as much as that. But obviously you would be draining your energy, whereas solar, you're not. You're actually draining no energy at all, but just draining metal, which could or could not be a good thing. But also you've got to consider the relatively space involved is I would say the solar uses slightly more space. So if you've got a tight constraint like here, I haven't got any, I've got massive amounts of room. It doesn't really matter. But you've also got to consider your enemy. At the moment, we're obviously playing on AI, so it doesn't really make too much of a difference. But just say we were playing on a ladder, I mean, hypothetically, what you'd have to consider is do you protect your infrastructure or not? Now, against, in the early players, if you've got, you're playing against 8 enemies, there's an 8v8 for an example, or 4v4, most of the time somebody is going to want to send out some ticks or rovers to try and snipe your metal extractors. So metal extractors are important, but also it's like the chicken and the egg. They're both as important as each other, because obviously you want to keep you try to maximize, keep them two levels as high as you can as you do it, as you're building up your base to obviously then go eventually fight, or however you're doing it, unless you're an eco warrior or whatever you are, whatever you've decided to be. If you're on the back line and you've got other commanders around you, you're more than likely you're going to be eco compared to whatever else. But yeah, so it's also, to me, it also seems to be important. What I've been watching is to potentially, put maybe some cheap, sentry, lasers just to protect against ticks or rovers, which will help. You could always, do that. You've got to balance it out, obviously. For what you want to do. So that's that little part there. So if we go back and we just restart again, it'll send me really back. Unfortunately, it reloads everything again while I'm talking. But so we start for that. So my own philosophy, I probably said it in the first one, would be to try and keep your energy as high as you can to start with. I have seen a lot of people, a lot of players, whether again this is right or wrong. Like I said, I'm only a novice, and I'm looking at it the novice way is to try to keep your energy level as much as you can to start with, and not go too far. So I try to potentially, I do it two way around. At that time, I've just built an energy storage, because you want to keep that high for obvious reasons. And you're obviously, the solar, as you're going to say your metal, to put your metal down, that energy should then be practically full again, which is what you're going to use eventually when you use the energy converters to convert energy to metal. And then obviously once you've done this, you've got to decide whether you want to protect by using the sentry, the laser tower, or some sort of light, especially if you're playing against a team, more than likely, especially if it's the biggest team, say an 8v8, one of them's more than likely going to do air. So you've got to countermand that at the same time, and obviously try and move out at the same time. But again, there's nothing wrong with turtling to a degree, but you've still got to think about moving out gradually. You could move out really fast, but if you haven't got the infrastructure behind you, and he or she has got enough tanks or grunts or thugs or whatever they've got, they will more than likely take you down. So that's the play to sort of decide on. I haven't still got it down to a T yet, but I do prefer this way over doing the win, because I can guarantee it. What I'm going to get is what I'm going to get. I can work with that, what I'm going to get, based off anything. As you can see here, I'm using a lot of energy. That was the wrong way around. So you can see that was the wrong way around. I should have built a solar first, and maybe the other solar, and then maybe the storage to keep that high, because then it would guarantee I'm not waiting. That's the stall. That's what they call the stall. So you're stalling yourself, sat there waiting for something to happen. So like I said, that's just the what I wanted to go over in this second episode of the Vanilla edition for Bar. Put something in the comments if you disagree, or you want me to go over something else that I think I may know about, or I've learned as I've been watching it over these since around about 22, and recently I had them, like I said, the decent enough PCs to actually run it. But yeah, I hope you enjoy that, and I hope you use that idea or a bit of that idea to start playing yourself and getting used to it. Okay then, bye for now.